What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of your favorite show on the internet, Forgotten Dawgs, where we'll be shining a little bit of light on some NBA role players that I don't think get enough credit. Now, I kind of caved with today's episode. This player in particular is someone that doesn't have a ton of substance to their game that I can talk about, and also they were on the Suns, and if you watch my videos, you know how I've been trying to stay away from the Suns, but it's irresistible for me. And I figure, why not? Who stopped me? Who's making these rules other than myself? But all of those reasons why I shouldn't make this video do not overpower my love and appreciation and motivation to make today's video about the Aussie Aron Baynes. That was a hype intro, I know. I wouldn't blame you guys if you're like jumping up and down and clapping and all that kind of stuff. This is hype. And I'll let you know ahead of time, this one's gonna go a little off the rails. I just want to let you guys know also I'm recording this the day before Aron Baynes Day, April 6th, 4/6, 46 Aron Baynes. Calculated. So, happy Baynes Day to all who celebrate. Now, a lot of you out there probably don't know who Aron Baynes is, so I'll give a brief description of who he is. Aron Baynes is an Australian-born, undrafted NBA player who came into the league at the age of 26 to the San Antonio Spurs. That was in the 2012-2013 season, so Tim Duncan's still there. The Spurs are still sort of in their dynasty. They're still a threat to every team in the league. Pop's there, and anytime you play under Pop, it's not like he is a prime. He's always great. So it's only right that our glorious king, my sunshine Aron Baynes, had the leadership and the mentorship above him of Tim Duncan and Greg Popovich, and that's what led to him being such a phenomenal NBA player. Now, if you're asking by what standards, the ones in my heart. Aron Baynes was a guy that didn't get a ton of minutes in his career and sort of bounced around a little bit. He spent 3 years in San Antonio before going to Detroit for a couple of years. Then he spent some time in Boston, where he did sort of have a solid role with the Celtics in the regular season of the 2017-2018 season. He played 18.3 minutes a game. That season was also the most games he played in a season, with 81. So after that, he got traded to Phoenix. He was there for a year, and then when his contract expired, he signed with Toronto before suffering a really tragic accident during international play. He had a health scare where he was in a tunnel by himself during a game. I think he just had to go back to the locker room for something, and he fell and nearly got paralyzed and was stuck there by himself for a while, couldn't move, and somehow powered through and recovered fully and played basketball after that injury. But understandably so, he stayed in Australia with his family. But yeah, like I said, he was an international guy. He played a lot in Australia. He's played in the Olympics a handful of times with the Boomers. He's played in FIBA leagues and Euro Cups. And most recently, actually this season, he's been playing in the NBL with Brisbane. Aron Baynes, Brisbane. It's always perfect because it's Aron Baynes. But like I said, his stats aren't the interesting part. Let's get into the fun stuff. Now, on March 6th, 2020, Aron Baynes woke up, and I'm sure he knew he was going to make history that day. In a game against the Portland Trail Blazers, Aron Baynes and the Phoenix Suns won behind a 37-point performance from Aron Baynes. What's his middle name? I feel like that's more hype. From Aaron John Baynes. Baynesy shot 12 of 23 from the floor. That's 52.2%. That's not even the most impressive part. The 37 points isn't even the most impressive part. He made 9 three-pointers in that game of his 14 that he shot. That's 64.3% from 3. Aron Baynes. Like Matt Bonner, who? Karl Anthony Towns, who? Actually, before Cat broke this record in the current season with 10, Aron Baynes held the record for most three-pointers made in a game by a center in NBA history. He was a complete menace on the court that night with 2 blocks, 1 steal, a plus 17 plus minus. He led the Suns to that win over Portland that night, and I was basically there. The thing about that is that I wasn't there, but my brother was, and my brother high-fived him as he was walking into the tunnel and got Aron Baynes sweat all over his hand. I'll put the picture in there now. But basically, I got Aron Baynes in my blood. Basically, I am Aron Baynes. I think that's how that works. Aron Baynes is also the only player in NBA history to shoot 100% from the field and from the free throw line in the NBA Finals with a minimum of 2 shots. This stat came from none other than the original Stan account in the NBA Twitter community, the best Stan account in NBA Twitter community ever, and that there ever will be, the unofficial Aron Baynes fan club. I know I sound like I'm joking here, but legitimately, that account I've like cried laughing at. It's peak social media. Like, there's a lot of people that talk about the effects of social media that are negative on society, and I'm not denying those, but I am saying that if every social media account were to be the unofficial Aron Baynes fan club, our world would, it's like those memes, our world would be perfect. That account is legitimately awesome. You should check it out. It's very active with the community. It still posts sometimes, despite Aron Baynes not being in the NBA anymore. It's a very, very entertaining account. And staying on the topic of Twitter and going back to my brother in lockdown did just like a fun little thing where he tweeted at Aron Baynes every day until he responded. And on the 4th day, my brother, like a fool, sorry Jeremy, like a fool, and I know he's gonna watch this video too because I told him I was making it and he wants a link. Like a fool, gave up on the 4th day, and Aron Baynes defied the odds and responded on the 4th day, facepalm emoji, laughing crying emoji. April 17th, 2020 is a day of history because Aron Baynes replied to my brother on Twitter. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty sick. But getting back to some legitimate things, Aron Baynes was actually a pretty solid role player for the 2019-2020 Suns. And it's pretty sad because he went from being like a really big fan favorite in the Suns fandom to just getting absolutely torched by Raptors fans. And it was sad. He didn't deserve it. But in that season with the Suns, he averaged 11.5 points on 48, 35, and 75 shooting splits. Like, that's solid for a guy who comes off the bench who has never really held a consistent role, even as a backup at all in his career, other than that, like 1 year with the Celtics. But you get my point. Arguably, his most lethal part of his game wasn't tracked on the stat sheet, but it's that he had some of the hardest screens every night. I remember seeing tweets about it on Suns Twitter after games of like Aron Baynes stat lines, and it'd be like 8 points, 6 rebounds, and 13 hard screens. And it's not even a joke. Like, he was a tank. He was a brick wall. But unironically, his ability to set screens like that is what allowed for him to have such a good season in Phoenix. Considering that he was a solid, pretty efficient three-point shooter in that season, but also incredibly strong so he could get to his spots in the paint on a roll, it made him a really good option for any sort of action you want to run out of a screen, whether it's a pick and roll, a pick and pop. He's a lethal role player, pick and roll, or pick and pop option. He's a threat. What can I say? And unrelated, but the Suns had like the goofiest big man depth ever that season with him and Frank Kaminsky. But the Suns don't make that run in the bubble without Aron Baynes. They don't have the kind of season that they had without Aron Baynes. DeAndre Ayton in that season didn't play a handful of games for reasons I won't talk about, and Aron Baynes filled the gap of the starting center considerably well. Also, in his career, he had an effective field goal percentage of 51.1, a player efficiency rating of 13, where the league average is 15, so not too bad, and a career average of 20.1 win shares. Effective player in the minutes he played. Now, do I think Aron Baynes' legacy will be stronger than the legacy of his unofficial fan account on Twitter? No, but I hope that the legacy of that account allows for him to be remembered in NBA discourse forever, because Aron Baynes was a fun player. He was a funny player for no reason, and it's awesome that he's just this big dude that knocked down 9 threes in a game. Shout out Aron Baynes. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was a lot of fun for me. Aron Baynes is a champ. He's the guy. He's a beast. I love Aron Baynes, and I love you. Have a wonderful day. Peace. Shout out to Ozzy.